Driving.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Twin City Sports Talk. You got Bruce here today. It's a state of Minnesota sports. We love doing these episodes just to catch up on everything that's going around all four teams in the state. No Gophers content except, well, we all know the Gophers basketball season is done. They're not in the March Madness tournament, which stinks, but they're on the right path with Nico. No Gophers football content. It's just that lull of the college football offseason, except I guess spring practices have begun, so that's exciting in some ways. Yeah, but nothing else for the Gopher side. If any big Gopher fans out there were wondering that, we don't got it today. First, we're going to start out with our sponsor, Jen Prouty at Athletes Edge, a mental performance consultant based in Brookings, South Dakota. She's working with competitive and elite athletes across a variety of sports like hockey, wrestling, and football. She helps strengthen the mental side of performances by developing skills like confidence, focus, emotional control, and consistency under pressure. She works with athletes, teams, coaches, both locally and nationwide through virtual consulting. To contact Jen, here's her phone number, athletesedgepc.com, athletesedgepc for the Instagram, also on Facebook. Tell her Twin City Sports Talk sent you over there. She'd like to know that. We'd like to know that. So thank you, Jen, for sponsoring, and people, check her out. All right. We are going to first start off with some Vikings stuff today. Actually, you know what? Before that, I'll just get to it now. I made predictions last night on the USA baseball game along with the Wild and Wolves game. Big prediction night last night. Here we go. Not a terrible night by myself. Trevor will be back on soon for everyone who is keeping track of the comeback he's making right now. He was down like 40 to, in the point category, I'm saying. He was down like 40 to, what was it? I think. Ooh, that's tough. I think it was like 14 for him, 40 to 14. Either way, 42 to 28 now. He got a basketball prediction in there. Nice job. But for me, bit of an okay night. Not great by any means. Not great by any means at all. I did say the Wolves would lose to the Thunder, and I said exactly how the game went. I said the Wolves would stick with it, but the Thunder would start pulling away in the second half after they figured out how the Wolves are playing for the day. That was completely correct right there. Every little piece of that. Wolves did lose 116 to 103 right there listed for anyone that's wondering, listeners. Wild lost to the Leafs 4-2. Embarrassing game. Leafs are not having a good year. Austin Matthews without being on the Leafs team. So another embarrassing loss by the Wild. The USA did beat the Dominican Republic last night 2-1 in an absolute shootout. Paul Skeens, Luis Severino was pumping 100 on his fastball. I mean, that.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, I did not expect that going into the game. Either way, I said the Wild would win last night, so that's completely wrong. And I said the Wild would kind of dominate offensively. I said they'd win 5-2. Completely wrong. I did say Boldy also would have 3 points to go along with that. That's completely wrong too. Going back to the USA game, I said the USA would win 6-4. Correct. Bit of a higher score prediction than maybe I expect, than I wanted. Ended 2-1. But my player prediction, I said Paul Skeens would have 5 strikeouts. It was a parlay, so it already went wrong there. I think he ended with 3. I know he didn't have 5, but I just thought he was going to come. I mean, he pitched really well. And I know the lineup for the Dominican is the best in the World Baseball Classic. No doubt it is. I just thought he'd get 5. I knew he'd be up there for 80, 85 pitches. And then the part that hurts about it, I said the USA, along with Paul Skeens, would also have 8 hits. They had 7. So it just sucks. But going 2-1 on the night, I am on a losing streak when it comes to the points. I haven't gotten a point in quite a while. But the standings now 75-50 with 42 points for me. Trevor 37-31 with 28 points. Now Trevor's comfortably in the winning column. It's going to take a lot for him to get into the losing column, I'll tell you that. But there we go. There's our predictions. This prediction season runs from week 1 of the NFL season all the way through. So we got a lot of time left, a whole twin season for predictions, but there it is for today. All right, now we got to get to some Minnesota sports content that has to do with today. No games tonight, so I will not be making any predictions. But first, I want to talk two things about the Vikings. I don't know where these reports are coming out of the NFL, but apparently the Minnesota Vikings quarterback, 9, JJ McCarthy, is drawing interest around the league as teams monitor the situation going on here in Minnesota. The Vikings, they signed Kyler Murray. So everything's looking like Kyler's going to be the starter. And if he wasn't, I'd be shocked. JJ is going to sit for a year unless he were to get traded. The three teams that have been mentioned, the Cleveland Browns, the LA Chargers, and the LA Rams. The Chargers make sense. Jim Harbaugh, obviously JJ's college coach at Michigan. And even the Rams make sense. Matthew Stafford is not going to be playing for probably any more than next year, I would assume, especially if he wins the Super Bowl with the Rams. I think he'd be done then. But either way, not much time left there. Going into a Sean McVay offense, which here's the thing. Yeah, it is a Sean McVay ran offense kind of here, but KOC does not run the ball, and he doesn't switch up personnel packages, which that helped JJ a ton in the last couple of games. Sean McVay ran more 13 personnel than anyone in the NFL this year. So JJ could thrive in LA, but what do you guys think? Like JJ being shipped off, and the only reason why this report has come out is because apparently Kevin O'Connell, when Kyler Murray took his visit here, he told him that Kyler Murray was the only, well, KOC told Kyler that he was the only quarterback on the market that the Vikings front office thought there was a future with. And by future, I mean after this year, extending him for multiple years down the road. And that could mean a lot of different things. It could mean they don't trust JJ as much, which after this season, there's definitely a lot of question marks they have to address no matter what. But it could just mean, well, you have a quarterback right in his prime. He was a former first overall draft pick. And he's had a pretty dang good start to his career. And he's been stacked up on a bunch of losing teams, horrible rosters there in Arizona. So you have to feel for Kyler a little bit. But KOC thinks he's the only one in this free agent market for quarterbacks that they could see a future with. It's definitely something to monitor. Back to JJ, I don't know how the Browns make sense. I mean, they're always looking for quarterbacks. If they're not too high on Shador, he could fight for that spot, and JJ would probably win that over Shador. But this could be one of the most talked headlines going into next season, and it's definitely going to be fun to see if Kyler were to get injured, what are you going to get from JJ? Because that determines next year, 2027 season and beyond. It determines everything. It really does. So that's all I have to note here. But JJ McCarthy being talked about, shopped by other teams, it's definitely a question mark. There's no actual rumors or reports, but well, I mean, these are reports, but I didn't see where this is from. It just said NFL insiders, which I can never trust. I mean, people are always trying to find a story in the NFL. But either way, we'll move on from JJ McCarthy. Trade rumors are heating up around Vikings edge rusher Jonathan Grenard, who obviously is a star pass rusher. He's right in his prime, age 29, and he is primed for another big season coming off of the injuries, coming in healthy for whatever team. Maybe it is the Vikings still, but he most likely will be traded. And the teams, I'm just going to read this report that I saw. So one team that has already made inquiries, which we've talked about, is the Eagles, who are looking to add another edge rusher after missing out on other options this offseason. They also lost Jalen Phillips in free agency. Philadelphia has even reached out to Minnesota to discuss a potential trade and even possibility of extending Grenard, which that is what we talked about a few days ago. The Eagles are looking at this scenario that's gone around a few times where it's you trade for a guy and extend him right away. And actually, I know the Eagles have actually talked to Grenard's agent and representatives about this idea. If he were to be traded, that they would want him extended right away, which honestly is a good option for the Eagles. So good for them. But other teams around the league who are also monitoring the situation The Dallas Cowboys have been mentioned as suitors, but the Patriots have also been mentioned, which the Patriots defense already was pretty dang good. The pass rush could be a bit more of a weapon. I think they could have stuck around in the Super Bowl. I mean, the Seahawks offensive line is good. It's not great. It's not top tier in the league. It's good. But if the Patriots had that extra oomph, I think if they had Jonathan Grenard, I think they could have made the Super Bowl a bit of a better game. So could be a very good move by the Patriots. But here's the thing: despite all the calls, the Vikings aren't actively trying to move Grenard. Reports suggest Minnesota would prefer to keep their top pass rusher, but the team has been listening to offers due to salary cap pressure and Grenard's desire for a new contract, which that is kind of the biggest deal here. The Vikings obviously really only have $5 or $6 million left to spend in free agency. If they want to go get, I mean, I've even heard reports of Tyreek Hill willing to sign a 4-year option or $4 million deal. Which if the Vikings wanted to bring in a low risk, high upside guy who's going to cost $4 or $5 million, this could be a way to do it. Trade Grenard, and we've done it in so many of our offseason blueprints here on Twin City Sports Talk. Jonathan Grenard, depending on what team, if they're a contender, if they have the money to extend him like the Eagles, depending on that kind of a team, I think you get a late first round pick. If you traded Jonathan Grenard straight up for a first round pick, I think that's even on both sides. You get a pass rusher right in his prime who's made Pro Bowl and had a 10 plus sack season. And again, he's only 29. So I think if you traded that specifically for a first round pick, I think it could work. But more realistic ones, I guess, would be an early second and then a day 3 pick. That would be awesome. I would trade him for a first round pick if I could. If I couldn't, a second round pick plus a day 3, 5th round pick or 6th round pick, I'll do that in a heartbeat. Because here's the thing, for us, you need to let Dallas Turner get some wheels underneath him. He showed so much when Grenard was out in that second half of the season. He had 6 sacks in the last 7 weeks, I think. So he's primed for a massive year. You need to go address the position in the draft for a little bit of depth behind Turner. But I'm going to still stick on the side of I would do this in a heartbeat. I think a lot of people would. But yeah, that's all I got to say for that. So I got one more Vikings note, but that's all I have for the people on the team right now, I should say. And what I mean by that is the Vikings are apparently still looking at running back in the NFL draft. They just re-signed Aaron Jones for 1 year, $5.5 million deal, 5 guaranteed, I think. So it's not a lot. They obviously wanted to bring him back, couldn't agree on something before, so they cut him, freed up a little cap space, re-signed him. But the Vikings are hosting Wake Forest running back Damon Claiborne on a top 30 visit. This is reported by Ryan Fowler, so very trustworthy source there. The thing about Claiborne, he's going to go day 3. He's not going to be an early draft or not going to be an early back. There's a lot of guys. Obviously, Jeremiah Love in the first round, but Jadarian Price, Mike Washington from Arkansas. You have Emmett Johnson, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen. There's a ton of guys. Big running back class here, and a lot of running backs that are going to go day 2 in the second and third round. So Claiborne will be a 5th or 6th round selection, but it's not a bad idea. You have Jones and Mason for this year, which that would be the idea. You would roll with those 2 guys, and then if you have an injury, Claiborne would step up. But Claiborne, ton of elusiveness, skills, quick feet, not a great pass blocker, but you don't really not a lot of running backs are great at it. So I've actually liked him. We've just been targeting in a bunch of our mock drafts. We've been targeting running backs earlier than that, but he is a great option for later in the draft if the Vikings were to go that route. I also like Jamari Taylor from Virginia, which he's going to go 6th or 7th round, but I think he won like the Triple Crown for running. I think he had the most rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, and rushing attempts for the ACC, I think. I could check on that in the future here, but Jamari Taylor is also a nice option. But Vikings bringing in Damon Claiborne. So yeah, there's all my Viking stuff. Vikings, let's win this game. Next up, I'm gonna get to a few Twins notes. Couple, well, I mean, spring training specifically, we haven't talked about it in a little bit here. Little bit of bad news here. Twins outfielder Austin Martin left today's game after a diving play. He's out with a concussion. So obviously concussions are weird. You don't really see it in baseball a lot. He was diving for a ball, and from the report, I didn't get to see it because I didn't get to watch the full game today, but appeared to land awkwardly trying to make the play. Yeah, he's playing right field today, which the reason why this is such a big thing, obviously Austin Martin isn't a key contributor. He could be. He isn't right now for the Twins, but the left field battle it's heated up. Austin Martin's been hitting 286, not bad, but Alan Roden has really stepped up here in spring training and hit the top off the ball for average. He's hitting to all parts of the field. So this left field battle is going to get really interesting. Trevor Larnach's going to be your DH most of the time, and Matt Wallner's got the right field spot. But Austin Martin left today with a concussion, and again, it's weird because the concussions don't happen a lot in baseball, so I have no idea when he's going to be out for, a week, 2 weeks. For baseball, it's not as big of a deal as in football. Football is all contact. So baseball, he could be back within 4 or 5 days, but I hope he gets a chance to play again in spring training and prove for a spot on the team, because James Outman, he's been in the league for 4 years, the big leagues now with the Dodgers. He had a year with the Dodgers where he hit 250 and 24 home runs, James Outman. So he's probably got a spot locked up most likely, but Alan Roden's really pushing. I love if Martin could get a chance to prove himself again, but if not, there's not much you can do there. All right, another note from today's game. I got 2 notes from today's game. Joe Ryan, but the one right now, Luke Keeschall. Luke Keeschall, I mean, he's doing everything that I expected him to do in spring training, and he is going to do this to enter the year. Luke Keeschall is always aggressive in the start of at-bats. He's a lot of pitchers. It's going to be a first pitch strike. Get the count in their favor and then work from there. Luke Keeschall today rips a double in his first at-bat, and then second at-bat on the first pitch, rips a 3-run homer. It was great. I have no words. He's hitting 400 in spring training here. He's improved on defense from all I've seen. I've seen a lot of double plays turned with him and Brooks Lee, which that's another thing. Kudos to you, Derek Shelton, for playing Keeschall and Brooks Lee into like that duo, what you're going to see in the regular season a lot. Kudos to you for playing them a lot into like the 6th and 7th inning in a lot of these games. Not a lot, but some of these games. A lot more than you would see from your opening day starters at those positions. I love it. Get their chemistry going there, and there's nothing else to say there. Luke Keeschall, keep doing what you're doing. I cannot wait to watch you play this year. Cannot wait. And I love, if people don't know this, Luke Keeschall does the Rocky anthem for his walk-up song. It's awesome. It's great. I mean, that's perfect. It's just no words. It's perfect. It's perfect for him. It's a perfect walk-up song. And it just describes him so well, in all honesty. All right, next one, Joe Ryan today, making his first longer start. He pitched 4 innings today ever since the back tightness he was out for a little bit. A little bit of sucky news. It was going to be kind of cool to see him in the World Baseball Classic Championship now that the U.S. is officially playing in that game tomorrow night. But he is not pitching. It'll be Nolan McLean from the Mets organization. Yeah, it would have been cool to see Ryan pitch in the championship. He withdrew after saying he'll be back, which stinks. It would have been fun to see that. But Joe Ryan today, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. He was great today. Locating pitches, his sweeper was on fire. Really shut down the Pirates lineup. Pirates aren't anything special for the most part in the lineup, but it's great to see. He's probably going to get, well, it's already March 16th. Our season's in under 2 weeks now, probably 1 or 2 more starts, and he'll get that opening day start. So I'm excited to see it. The big thing with Ryan, I want him going longer in games. I want him at a Bailey Over type pace where it's less pitches per inning. I want to see a bunch of games this year where Joe Ryan's pitching into the 7th inning, and then we can just throw Anthony Bonda and Taylor Rogers out there for the 8th and 9th. I want to see that because Joe Ryan is fully capable of it. Definitely a Cy Young dark horse, 100%. Let's keep the back healthy, though. That's my biggest gripe with literally anything here now. It's getting annoying with Twins players always getting hurt. But Joe Ryan, I believe in you. You got this. It was a great performance today. I watched the highlights. Good job. Next one, Dason Hill. If people don't know who Dason Hill is, he was in High A Cedar Rapids last year. This kid is one of our most interesting prospects and best prospects. He's 19 years old. He's a left-handed pitcher starting games, coming in out of the bullpen. He's got the versatility there. Right now, Dason Hill is maxing out at 100 miles per hour on his fastball. Really, really adding a gear. It is insane. I mean, the stuff he has, and I am so excited to watch him prove it this year, because he was in the breakout game against the Red Sox today, and he was pumping 100, maxed out there at 100. He's usually going to sit at 98 on the fastball, but then he's got a hard slider and a changeup, 3-pitch mix, but he does each pitch so well. Actually, no, I think he has a sweeper. Either way, I'm not too familiar with his pitch arsenal, but I know last year he was sitting at 96 and maxing out at 98. He's added that second gear. He will be, and again, he's only 19 years old, so you got to take that for what it's worth there. But he will be a twin pitcher in 2 years. I hope less. If he can keep proving it, he'll easily get up to AA this year if he can stay healthy. And then next year should undoubtedly be in AAA, and hopefully the year after that he's having a bigger role on this team because he has the stuff. 100-mile-per-hour lefty. He's a big dude, 6'4", 6'5". I forget, and that from the left side, oh, it's tough. And that sweeper, the sweeper was his best pitch last year. The whiff rate was up in the high 30% or low 40% of it. It is great to see what this kid's doing, and I can't wait to watch it myself this year. And I can't wait to see him climb the ladder between the minor leagues. That's it. I'm done with the Twins stuff. Now we got to get to the more depressing part of Minnesota sports. Under 116-103. Very, very weird and tough game to watch. I'm not going to lie. It was weird because just like I said this in yesterday's episode, the Wolves would stick with them. They will trade bucket for bucket and they will bring it defensively in the first half. But guess what? You can't win games if you don't bring that same intensity into that second half. And the Wolves completely showed it here. They completely got outran. The Thunder went on like a 18-4 run in the third quarter, whatever it was. They pulled away, and it was a horrible performance in the second half. And I mean horribly shooting the ball, horrible defense. Guys were getting – and here's the thing. The Thunder, they hit shots. But you're going to hit shots when you don't have someone contesting a three up at the top of the key. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only had 20 points, and he had like 12 going into the fourth. The Wolves, and I will give it to Julius Randle. Julius Randle played some great defense, which, yeah, I'm a Julius Randle hater at sometimes, but he did such a fantastic job yesterday sticking close to Shai and making him have contested shots the whole game. Same with Jaden McDaniels, but in the second half, it all went down the drain. You cannot play one half of fast, aggressive basketball and expect to win games, especially against these teams in the playoffs, with that same intensity they showed in the second half. You can't do it. It's impossible. You will not win games. The Wolves have a chance to show it again tomorrow night against a Suns team, which is kind of stalling out now, but they're a great team, and they're only 1.5 games behind you, I think. So here's the thing. The West is stacked. You need to win almost every game you have left. I mean, you're obviously not going to, but it would be great if the Wolves could win 60-70% of their games, because guess what? They have the same record as Houston and Denver, but both of those teams have the tiebreakers over us. Denver went 3-1 this year against us. Houston, I think they're up 2-1 in the season series right now. Lakers are in the third spot with a record of 42-25. All three of them, Houston, Denver, and Minnesota. Granted, Houston has two less losses, but the same amount of wins here. Then Phoenix in the play-in is, let's see here. They are 1.5 games behind us. If we lose tomorrow night to Phoenix, your Minnesota Timberwolves will be playing in the play-in tournament as of tomorrow night or close to it. They are just barely coasting by. And I will not be surprised at all if the Wolves are playing the Portland Trailblazers in the play-in tournament to even get into the playoffs. Embarrassing spot to be in, because guess what? If you are in the play-in, guess who you have to play? Either the Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs. Good luck. I don't care how much the Wolves team can bring it in the playoffs defensively. We've said it on the show. If you run into the Spurs and OKC, this team it's not built for it. Without a true point guard, you're not built for that. Not a good spot to be in right here, because if you get the 6th seed, then we can start talking about making the second round of the playoffs, because you have to play the Lakers, Denver, or Houston. We know Denver, we can beat them. Lakers, we can beat them. You just shut down Luka, you're good. Houston, that's it. That Houston's deep now that KD's over there. There's a lot of different ways they can score, but either way, those teams you can beat. We've done it. We've beat them, and I know we've beat OKC this year, but yesterday was the prime example why we can't beat them in a 7-game series. OKC is more conditioned. They run faster. They run harder than anyone in the league. It's not even close. All right. There's my Wolves rant. I want to go over the stats from last night. Io, this is what we've been harping on. Io, Dosumu, you need to be shooting the ball more, my man. Yesterday, 18 points. He took 9 shots. And I'm not going to go through it, but if I went back to his game log, that's got to be the most shots he's taken in a game. He was 4 from 5 from 3, which he has struggled from 3 before coming here. Yesterday was a great game from him. Dante also, great game. We just did an episode last week about the Wolves' inconsistencies between each player. Dante is definitely one of them. He had a good game yesterday. Granted, 2 of his threes were in complete garbage time when we were down by 18 in the 4th quarter. Ant didn't take as many shots as you usually do, but you just struggled. But the other thing with Ant, 5 from 10 from the free throw from the charity stripe. Anthony Edwards, 5 from 10 from the free throw stripe. That would have changed the outcome. But if you hit a couple free throws in the 3rd quarter when the game's close, that can change things. You don't know how the domino falls. This is unacceptable. Ant hitting 5 from 10 from the charity stripe. That cannot happen again. That cannot, and it's been a struggle all year long. Horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Clip that. And yeah, Julius Randle had a great game defensively in the first half. But Randle was just good all night. Working the way down the lane with his fadeaways on the corner, on the baseline, he was just good. Props to you, Julius Randle. I'm happy. I'm very happy with that performance. It's just you didn't have the help from most of your teammates. Naz Reid, 6 points. Jaden McDaniels, 2 points and 4 fouls. He had more fouls than he did points. Rudy had a horrible game too. 7 rebounds, 2 points for Rudy. It's not good. I can't even describe it. I can't describe it. Not good. And now we get to go to another team that's slumping. Another team. Okay, the Wild have lost 2 embarrassing games in a row. And guess what? The Wild go down 3-0 again. And a little bit too much, too late. The Leafs got outplayed in the 3rd period. Vladimir Tarasenko by himself scores 2 goals within 20 seconds. So it's good to see that from Vlad, but I don't have many words to say about this. The Wild, if they want to, and here's the positive thing. The Wild really have nothing to play for. They obviously need to win, but now the Wild are in a spot where they are 6 points behind Dallas, and they are 9 points behind the Avs. So, and the chances with how many games left, like it's got to be, I think, around 16 games left. You are almost 90% not going to catch Dallas, which means, well, we're going to be playing Dallas now in the first round of the playoffs and games 1 and 2, and then 5 and 7, because it might go to 7 games, but Dallas gets the home ice overall in the series. And this is just something we've been stuck with. And we're obviously stuck in the best division in hockey, so it's always going to be tough sledding. But the Wild, if they want to right the ship, they have a big game against Dallas coming up in the next 3 or 4 games. I forget what it is. But you're kind of solidified in your spot. That's really what it is. And it's obviously tough to see, but the Wild, you don't really have a lot to play for because the Mammoth are 14 points below you. But the Wild have now lost 3 in a row. And let me read you these teams that they lost to. The Flyers, who are nowhere roster-wise, nowhere near as good as the Wild. And that was the shootout where Kirill tried the backhand and Zuccarello lost it again or got it poke checked. They lost in the shootout there. And then the Rangers, who the Rangers are the worst team in the Metropolitan. They have a good roster. The Wild didn't take it seriously. They got pretty much blown out by the Rangers. It wasn't very close. And then the Toronto Maple Leafs last night, not good. Not good at all. Everyone, Wild and Wolves game tomorrow night, plus the USA Championship game against either Italy or now I'm completely for Venezuela with Ronald Acuna Jr. So either way, a lot of content tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. We'll have predictions tomorrow night. Trevor will most likely be back on. People, follow the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. About to hit 3,000 subscribers. 3,000 subscribers. Insane. Thank you guys. I'm loving it. Let's keep it going. Twins opening day ticket giveaway is in full-fledged, getting a lot of submissions via the Instagram DM sections for that. But people, have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow.